religious liberty is important, and standing up against religious discrimination is something I've done throughout my career, Senator.
Do you think that religious associations, synagogues, churches, mosques should be treated less favorably than secular institutions?
The Civil Rights Division has in its arsenal a number of tools. The Church Arson Prevention Act, the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act, to ensure actually that churches and houses of worship are not subject to discrimination. This is work I've done throughout my career and that I would look forward to doing if confirmed to this role.
Well, you're absolutely right about DOJ's authorities there, and that's why your views concern me. In the same opinion that you so sharply criticized, the court found that in one of the zones designated by Como, a synagogue or church may not admit more than 10 persons. However, other businesses like acupuncture facilities, campgrounds, garages, things like plants manufacturing chemicals, microelectronics, and all transportation facilities could admit as many people as they wanted. In another zone, attendance to houses of worship was limited to 25 people. And yet, the businesses in that zone could decide for themselves how many people to admit. The district court found that a large store in Brooklyn could literally have hundreds of people shopping there on any given day, and yet a synagogue or a church could have no more than 25 people. The court concluded from this that not only was this not equal, this was actually disparate treatment on the basis of religion, but you criticized this as elevating religious liberty, as putting it above public health, when in fact these synagogues and churches were being treated in a discriminatory fashion. How do you square that?
My focus on the case was on the very surface issue about how do we protect lives amid a deadly pandemic. I ran a religious rights unit at the New York Attorney General's office. I know about religious discrimination and have fought it throughout my career. I've stood up to neo-Nazis. I've spoken out when we've seen attacks on our houses of worship. And Senator, you have my commitment that if confirmed to the role, I will continue to do just that. Stand up for religious liberty and fight religious discrimination at every turn.
Did you speak out when the governor of New York was targeting Orthodox Jewish communities for disparate treatment so severe and significant that the Supreme Court of the United States rebuked him and said it was a constitutional violation?
Well, I did not work on this case or have an
But you commented on this case at quite some length and took the opposite opinion.
Well, not at length, but I was very concerned.
Well, I have the tweets here. I mean, we can have them entered into the record.
Well, I was very concerned about the pandemic and very concerned about figuring out what are the steps officials need to take to save lives. But throughout my career, I have stood up for religious liberty and fought religious discrimination, and will continue to do that if confirmed to the role, Senator.
My time has expired. I would just say in closing, Ms. Clarke, I would hope that you'd be concerned about the Constitution of the United States, which does not disappear during a pandemic or when some elected executive wants it to disappear, particularly if you are a religious minority. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.